This episode of Rookie Hunter is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation. Become a member, join the Lesson 1 Club, and attend their annual convention, Sheep Show, Reno, Nevada in 2020. For more information, go to wildsheepfoundation.org. Hey guys, welcome to episode 121 of Rookie Hunter. I'm still on the road, but we've got some episodes banked here. Today, we've got our good friend Kyle on the show. You heard us talking about his successful mule deer hunt him and Kelly went on while I was down south. So we're going to hear all about that one today. I was excited to get all the details finally. You might remember Kyle. He was with us on our moose hunt last year and just a little over a year ago. So excited to have him back in the studio with us. Don't forget, Sheep Show's coming up real quick. Head over to wildsheepfoundation.org, get yourself signed up, become a member, join the Lesson 1 Club. The last episode, I let you know that our good friends at Backbone Media wanted you to know about some deals. And with Sitka as one of our main sponsors, they're having their first ever Black Friday sale. So head over to sitkagear.com. They've got a whole wide range of men's and women's gear on sale. That Black Friday sale is available through Black Friday, November 29th, all the way through December 4th. So Canadian guys, here's your chance to save some money at the border. So head over to sitkagear.com. Also want to let you know Maven is offering $150 off Maven C3s from Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday. For that, use code C3150-BF at checkout. Again, that's C3150-BF at checkout. Save yourself some coin. And of course, don't forget to check out North Arm Knives. It is the holiday season. Get your partner, your hunting buddy, your mom, your dad, whoever, get them something nice for the holidays. Well, guys, I'm excited about this episode. Let's get into it. Sit back, relax, crack a nice cold beer, and enjoy episode 121 with our good friend Kyle. Kyle, welcome.
Good to see you guys.
It's been a hot minute, man. I haven't seen you since we were moose hunting.
I know.
I don't think, anyways.
It's been about a year, a little over.
Yeah.
I guess we were October when we went.
Yeah.
So
How's life treating you?
busy, man. Yeah,
You've had some changes as well in the household?
Yes, I have. I've got 7.5-month-old baby at home.
Nice.
Yeah, little boy Grayson. So lots of changes.
We've included him in the meat hauler category.
Yeah,
with
future
with
meat
James,
hauler.
Yeah, so
they'll be good buddies. They'll be perfect.
Get a pack on him now and get those legs ready.
That's right. We'll get him crawling first, and then we'll move it up to a backpack.
Nice.
We'll get him on solid food first, but
one step at a time.
well, actually, Grayson's pretty much there.
Oh yeah, he's growing like a weed, man.
Yeah,
I think tonight's gonna be his first steak night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Squats tomorrow.
Squats. yeah. We're gonna do some deer steaks tonight. So.
Sweet.
Nice. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, we'll introduce him to the venison game.
Perfect.
Nice.
Get him hooked.
Because we just talked to. I was talking to Adam about this, and he was saying that I can't remember which animal it was, but he was feeding his kids some wild game, and he said like the sense of pride of like feeding your kids game, and like that you harvested and it's super healthy, and can't beat it.
Yeah, totally. I was envious of you guys being out hunting. It's funny, man. Like this season's been pretty successful all around for everybody.
Yeah.
And so when I was down south, I got a photo of you guys. Well, I think the first photo you sent me was like through the trees, and you're like, see anything in there? So I had to zoom in and look through the trees, and found a buck in there. And yeah, Kelly let me know that you guys had a buck down and you were packing it out. So I guess we should talk about that. But I guess first of all, I don't think we got into too much of your, like how you got into hunting. I don't think we've ever really talked to you about that, because that's your first year, so you're in the rookie hunter category too. But you got a bear a couple.
Got
seasons
a bear
back.
My first year, yeah, and then deer this year. I've always grown up shooting. Like my old man always hunted when he was younger. This was out in Saskatchewan. But yeah, then I grew up on Vancouver Island. Just never hunted. Always fished. And then finally moved out here or moved back to BC. And I just figured, why not get into it? I've always enjoyed guns. I've always enjoyed shooting. I like to eat meat. Perfect combo.
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys met each other through your wife.
Through my wife, yeah. She works with Kelly.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I don't know how you guys met at work, but we met, I think, at one of the Christmas parties.
Yeah, well, it's a relatively small office. But yeah, I remember she's like, oh, you should meet my husband because he's into outdoorsy stuff. And then like months go by and she kept saying, yeah, you should meet my husband because he's into outdoorsy stuff too, like fishing, hunting and all this kind of stuff. And then finally we all go to a Christmas party together and I can see like you and Amy's coming over. And I'm like, I tell Brie, I'm like, wow, there's so much pressure. It's like a blind date.
It felt like a first date for sure.
But yeah, it was all good. Now we're out hunting, getting deer and go fishing quite a bit actually. Yeah. Went to Shuswap a couple times, or no, one time.
Just once.
We got to go back there, but that's where we got that big, like 9 pound or whatever.
That was on her fly rod.
Yeah. I think Amy's very good at, she identifies which people should be hanging out with each other. She knows how to pull a crowd together.
Matchmaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she is. She's the event planner.
We should, we get lots of emails from people saying, how do I find a hunting partner? Maybe we should get Amy to run like a
recruitment.
Huntermatchmaker.com.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like plenty of fish.
Swipe right.
Yeah, that's right.
Plenty of bucks.
Plenty of bucks. There we go. I think that's $1 million idea.
I think so.
Oh, you should cut this. We're going to save that.
The patent pending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't put that on there.
That is a good idea.
So you didn't hunt at all really until 5 years ago-ish?
Yeah, well, I think this is my 4th year.
Okay.
Yeah, never had a hunting license. I just found where a course was, and it was literally like 2 minutes from my house. So I went and did the course, got my firearms, got my hunters, and just started going out on my own. My brother-in-law hunts, so he took me out. He's actually the one that got my bear with me. So,
nice.
Yep.
Yeah, he kind of pulled me into it and said, let's go.
So that's kind of a different path than most folks because they start with small game and then they get into deer
most people
and then
don't
they
start
get
with
into
a black bear.
Yeah. So you kind of started with bear. How did you feel about that when the bear was down?
It didn't bother me shooting it. It was all new to me, come like field dressing and everything. But my brother-in-law, he's a chef. So, I mean, he spent lots of time around game and animals in general. And he just said, put your knife here, and just walked me through it. It doesn't bother me at all to gut an animal or anything.
And you knew that, well, I guess being that he was a chef, you knew the potential for the food was, so you kind of made that leap into bear probably easier than some other folks. We talked to a lot of hunters and they're kind of like, I don't know about black bear.
Yeah.
But I think your brother-in-law there is familiar with black bear and turned it into food. And
yeah, we did the whole thing in sausage, but I mean, it wasn't that gamey. Like, I've
I
compared it to like a beef pretty much.
So, yeah, that's our experience too. So
it was also spring bear, so he's pretty lean, but you still have to get a bear.
I still got to get a bear. I had a chance sort of this spring, and I don't know, man. I wasn't really feeling it. Not that one anyways. Yeah. You kind of know when it's ready, and my plan was to go back and get that one next year, but it's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you went ultimate fair chase on that thing.
Yeah.
You were within 50 yards.
Yeah.
Probably, I want to say, if I remember correctly, but like then the wind just flipped and he was gone. But
my plan was like, I probably could have took a shot from where we were, but I'm like, you know what? I want to see how close I can get to this thing. And if I can make something happen within a short distance, then I'm going to do it. And he wasn't into it. And he was gone.
And then he was going up the mountain, and then I had a shot. But given how much like you wanted to make it fair chase, and you kind of like made it kind of your hunt there, I didn't feel right about just like picking them off the side of the
you
mountain
could've,
at that
yeah.
point, right? Like it just didn't match what
Yeah.
the original intent was. So
Yeah.
And
I
it
kind of
is-
just watched him leave and
Yeah.
took off.
It is cool to see him up that close too, because from far away you're just seeing this big black blob, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
it looks like a good bear. And then you get up close, it's like, I don't know, man. This one can do a couple more years, I think. So
Yeah, I
But-
found the biggest thing is look at pictures. That's your best way to
Yeah.
judge them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
everyone always says, "Oh, I thought it was bigger."
yeah, every time, yeah. It
Yeah.
seems like everybody seems to have that same thought. So, anyways, the bear, the right bear will come along, and also, it's tough with bears, man, because we're sitting there watching the thing. It like sits down on its ass, and it's just like swatting this this bit of brush in front of it. And they're just fun to watch. You're like, fuck, I
Yeah.
don't know, I feel weird about shooting this guy because he's just
Mhm.
like.
Feel like you got to know him watching him.
Yeah, totally. Whereas a deer, like we've talked about this before, is like they look like prey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whereas when you're dealing with a predator, it's just there's something different about it. But
Yeah. You just
anyways,
see a big backstrap walking through the field.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
So it'll happen one day. The right bear will come along.
For sure.
Just carry a tag. It'll
I
come.
always have one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went out for my one and only mule deer hunt on last Thursday or whatever. Was hoping to maybe see a black bear too, because
Yeah.
I had seen some in that area before too. So that
Mhm.
was an option. But yeah.
There's been 2 times where I've been super excited that I, see this black bear and I'm like, oh man, that's a monster. And then they both been grizzly bears.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
So monster indeed.
I haven't seen one in person yet.
No, not around here.
No,
as much.
you got to
yeah.
go north or southeast, I guess.
Yeah.
Saw a few too many on our sheep trip there.
Yeah.
Goat trip, I guess.
How was that
It
overall?
was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the, I hate saying this in front of Kelly, but he doesn't care. He had a fucking awesome experience back here, but
Yeah.
one of the best trips ever for sure.
Yeah.
It was fucking incredible.
Scenery wise, just
just everything.
breathtaking.
Yeah. Obviously being stuck in Dees Lake was kind of shitty, but it's part of the journey. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah,
is what it is. And we dealt, with the amount of time we had, we made the most of it and had a wicked trip. And yeah, fucking awesome.
Yeah,
We all
definitely.
all of us got to go up there. And do
one
it.
day. Yeah,
yeah.
I'll definitely. I'd love to do a
Yeah.
trip that far north.
Yeah, pretty cool country. So we got to go up and bury that bottle of whiskey. So
Yeah, there you go.
We got an email from someone actually that knows his whiskey, so
Mm.
he's going to advise.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okanagan Spirits, hard to beat.
Yeah, it is.
Keep it local.
Keep it local. It's all that shit, all the ingredients, everything coming from right here.
Mhm.
Local beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's on tap? Kyle, what's
I'm
on
up.
tap?
Oh, Kelly's
Got,
pawning off his job on you.
That's all right. Slackwater Brewing. You're saying in Penticton.
Yep.
The Hell's Lager. Tight Lines Hell's Lager.
Yeah, I thought the name was appropriate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, driving over here, I was looking at the lake. I was like, fuck, I need to get out and do some trolling.
Bucktails.
Oh, I was like glass. I
Yeah.
was thinking
Oh, maybe not bucktails
plugs.
then.
Yeah, pull some plugs.
Nice.
Well, let's talk about this deer. How did you get? You don't say where, but how did you guys come to choose this spot that you?
I was up there last spring looking for bear.
Yeah.
So I just look at Backroads map books or on my phone.
Yeah.
Saw the road and then drove up there pretty much to the snow line when I was up there for bear, and then just threw on the pack and just started hiking.
Nice.
Good location, beautiful views the whole time.
Yeah,
And-
I saw the photos. Don't share some of those because there's
You can tell.
It's
You can tell where you're
it
at.
is.
Yeah,
So I know where you were, but I'll keep it a secret.
that's fine. We'll take you up there.
Perfect.
Maybe we'll get your bear.
Yeah, or a buck would be nice too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked like a pretty, even just to go hang out up there would have been good enough. But you
Mhm.
guys managed to find a buck. So I don't know, take me through the hunt. And
Yeah. Well, I think Kyle should start off. Like as far as, the amount of scouting time and stuff you put in there.
Not that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, just maps on the phone and whatever I can. And then had an idea of the route we were going to take. Took the truck as far as I figured we should go. We were kind of spotting on the way up, stop and glass.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I kind of planned that, yeah, we'll throw on packs here and we'll just do a big loop. We weren't even halfway, I don't think. And that's when you spotted them.
Well, we spotted a bunch of deer on the way up too. Like
Quite
we
a few.
counted
I think there was
11 does
Yeah.
just going up there. But you could also, one of the things I've been focusing on a lot lately is paying attention to the vegetation. And, as the elevation starts changing, you start noticing, the ponderosas are changing into Douglas and then you start changing into spruce, and just kind of being aware of when those changes are happening, I find is a pretty helpful thing to think about anyways. But it's also much easier being the guy at the passenger. I'm kind of like looking around and not focusing on driving. So
I'm
I'm
trying
like
to avoid
picking out all these does.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid scratching my truck. And you're like, oh, there's a deer. Like, yeah, there's also a tree branch.
Yeah. So we were seeing, I had I just had a good feeling about it.
Yeah, I had a good feeling that morning.
Yeah. And it was super sunny, like blue skies.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day, actually.
Worst case scenario, we were going to go for a hike, blue skies, sunshine. So
yeah,
can't really beat that. And then when you have that in your mind, you're kind of like, it doesn't matter if we see any deer. And then that's all of a sudden when you start seeing deer, my experience anyway.
Yeah.
So it seems to be, You're not so focused on the hunt. You're just there to enjoy yourself, enjoy the scenery, get out. And it seems, that's when things happen.
Yeah. We were out there super early. So one of the key things we wanted to do was, you're allowed to start hunting an hour before the sunrise, but generally I find that still too dark. So you kind of have to wait that extra bit before things lighten up a bit.
Yeah.
But we were on our way up the mountain. It was still dark. Like it was unshootable dark.
Yeah.
So I always think like when you get out there with that much time on your side, there's, bound to something good to happen. So we were out there super early.
That's what it felt like. Even after I pulled the trigger, I was like, what time is it? It was 12 or 12:30. Yeah. They're like nothing but time. So that was good. Took our time. Taught me how to field dress. That was good.
Yeah. So, well, I guess, we're cruising around in the truck, just kind of getting to the spot. And then we park, throw the packs on, kind of stroll down the road. And we were picking out does.
Yeah.
Like this area.
We're taking our time, though. That's the thing. I think that's key. We took our time. We sat and glassed a few different spots. We weren't in a rush. It was just take it in, really.
There seemed to be commonalities in terms of where we were seeing the buck or the deer, like just any rocky outcropping, just like classing those. And you could see they were even skylining themselves. Like they were just kind of popping up all over the place. Anytime we saw rocks poking up or whatever, we were looking at those, and sure enough, there's a couple of does walking around on them. We went off into the bush at one point. This is kind of like there's lots of deadfall in this area. So we were hiking off in the bush, and I see this one deer kind of, it's ways away, like 300-400, maybe even 500 yards away. And I'm like, I should probably get my spotting scope out, just see if this is a buck or not.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I probably shouldn't, because by the time I get it, I'll lose it. Sure enough, I lost it. But in the meantime, I'm like hearing Kyle moving around, and just like an appreciation for how much noise can be made in this area due to all the branches and deadfall and everything. So then, like, I think at that point, we both realized we're not really going to be sneaking up on anything necessarily.
No, we had to find a place to glass, somewhere to look, somewhere with lots of options. So,
and I think at that point is when we realized that we should just turn around and go straight up.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's pretty much what we did. Packed up our stuff, threw bags on, and just started going. And then, we finally got up to where I figured I needed some water. I had my pack off, and I was rummaging through my pack, and I was like, buck. And like, dropped everything I was doing, like looking at him, and he's glassing. He's looking at him, and I'm like, where? He just keeps pointing. I couldn't find him. And finally, like, he's like, lines me up right beside him. He's like, okay, bring your binos up. See that tree. And there he was. All I could see was pretty much antlers. And he just laid there for how long?
Oh, man.
40 minutes, I think we sat there.
Well, like to avoid more movement than we needed to, I kind of, because I was already standing in the line of a shot, I just dropped my pack right there
Yeah.
and just said, "Okay, pull your rifle off." And my pack was already sitting there, so you lined up on
Yeah.
the pack, and you were kind of set and ready to go. And then I kind of just moved out of the way, and we were, well, by the time it was all over, we were sitting there for 40 to 60 minutes, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Long enough for our legs to fall asleep.
Long enough for your heart rate to go from like 160 down to
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and then it like slowed down, right?
Yeah.
Because we realized this was probably going to be a long event.
Yeah. Once I set up with the rifle, I just told myself, like, focus on your breathing, calm yourself down, just get steady.
Yeah.
And we just sat. I kept calling out, yeah, I could do a neck shot, or just kept calling out different scenarios, and we just waited. And then finally, we agreed, we're like, let's let him make the mistake.
Yeah.
Right.
We're comfortable. I'm in a good position to shoot. Let's just wait it out. He'll stand up. And we just waited. Kelly had glass on him the whole time. I was sitting there with my rifle, and finally he stood up, kind of took one step away from us. Then he stepped back, and then one step forward, and that's when I pulled the trigger.
Nice.
Dropped him. Perfect shot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
In that case, I like having a set of earplugs
Yeah, I wasn't wearing mine.
because, well, but you know when the shot's going to happen, so it's a little
Exactly.
better, right? But
Yeah.
like with the 7 mag there, it's, you know, I'm kind of sitting off to the side. I don't know when the shot's going to happen, because even after he stood up, it was a good like 2 minutes before you
Yeah.
pulled the trigger, because he kind
Yeah.
of slowly moved into, he did his like back leg stretch.
Did like the
Oh,
the
yeah.
downward dog
You know,
stretch.
Nice.
yeah, you know when your dog gets up in the morning and you
Yeah.
kind of do that back leg stretch.
Yeah.
He was doing that, and then I figured, I kind of looked over like, "Do you have a shot?" He's like, "No, it guts. Like I can only hit him in the guts."
Mm.
And then basically waited, and then finally a shot went off. But without earplugs, it's kind of like nerve wracking holding
Yeah.
the glass, just waiting for a shot like that.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but it's nice to have some earplugs.
I've always got Desi Demps in my little like hip belt pouch.
And then I had the glass on when you pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
So I could see I could see his front leg. He was
Holding
holding
his
up.
front right.
Yeah, his front right. He was holding it up, and he kind of did a couple of hops,
And then he was
Um,
down the hill. We couldn't see.
disappeared.
We waited, 10 minutes maybe?
Yeah, I think we said 20, but
Yeah, that didn't
Like-
happen.
after we talked, you know, you were very sure that you hit him, you know, just by that front leg, like solid shot. And then based on what I saw in the binos, we're like, yeah, that was probably a very lethal shot. So we end up waiting like 10, 15 minutes and then walk down there.
And what would you say? Maybe went 20 yards?
Yeah, if that,
Yeah.
and that's downhill.
Yeah,
like
nice.
just kind of, he probably barrel rolled like right after he disappeared.
Probably. I don't think
So-
he went far or suffered at all by any means.
No.
I think he was dead by the time he hit the dirt.
Yeah.
So,
Perfect.
yeah, I honestly couldn't have asked for a first deer and just an overall hunting experience. I don't think I could have asked for anything
Yeah,
better.
man, that's the best case scenario. And yeah, it's well, we've talked about Kelly's first attempt there, and not the best for, first time
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
to do it, but
He grazed his
you-
leg. So
he learned from it, and but yeah, the way you did it is exactly how you want it to happen. So
Yeah, it was very humane. I felt comfortable after I shot. I felt comfortable leading up to the shot. Like I said, I took the time, got my heart rate down,
Yeah.
focused on what I was doing.
having time is key.
Yeah,
really,
I mean
'cause-
every opportunity is not going to be like that, but
Yeah.
that one worked out in my favor for sure. And for being my first deer, that was the best case scenario, I think.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So we found him and pulled out the knives and the gloves and said, "All right, Kelly, tell me where to cut."
yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good experience, good learning experience for sure.
I never remember like if you go against the hair or with the hair to get the least
With.
amount of like,
I'm pretty sure it's with, because if you're going up, then it's all kind of like
Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Coming back down.
that was one of the first things we talked about. And then I was like, well, we'll know pretty quick if it's the wrong way.
yeah, go
Yeah.
with the grain
Yeah.
rather than against
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
But we also, we pulled the deer out of kind of a bit of a hole there, put it on some flat ground. We ended up sawing down some brush that was kind of in our way. Like it was like poking us in the face as we were working. So kind of like made an area, threw down some garbage bags and game bags. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. How do you find that whole experience? Like in terms of, I guess, the gutless method? And
I think it was super easy. Like once you got the hide off, you could actually see the individual like muscle groups that you're
Yeah.
going to break down. It was no problem whatsoever. It's clean.
Yeah.
It was easy.
once we did the first half, you kind of just took over with the second half. I kind of worked on bagging things and cleaning it up and kind of like sawing the leg parts we didn't need or whatever. But I think there was one point where we nicked.
I nicked the gut
stomach.
bag. Yeah, it was the stomach. It was all grass that came out. But
yeah, we still managed to get the tenderloins out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
I think going forward on my next one, I'd maybe leave tenderloins to last.
Yeah.
Just to get your quarters off. And then you could gut them then and then get your tenderloins.
True.
I don't know.
Your heart.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind actually doing some heart and maybe tongue next time.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Seen lots of recipes for it.
Yeah, it's stuff you should definitely take because,
well, I don't think he had a heart left in that guy.
No, that's exactly. I think he nailed him right in the heart.
So sticking around in there if it's just nothing left.
Yeah.
It's a mess. Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I mean, you never know when you're going to get another one. So it's better to take all that stuff. And
Yeah. How was the pack out?
Miserable. It was terrible. I mean, we were lucky. We were maybe a couple K from the truck. It wasn't that far, but that's the heaviest pack I've ever carried.
Nice.
Yeah. And I mean, I took the whole head out with the antlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was heavy. By the time I got to the truck, I got my bag off, dropped the bag on the tailgate, and I just dropped and laid there. Kelly's like, unlock your truck. He goes around, gets his camera, and then comes around and takes a picture of me sprawled out on the ground.
That'll be the episode photo.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Say thanks, Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, well, like Adam said on when I talked to him, it's sometimes not necessarily the distance, it's the terrain involved. And yeah, I don't know. It's just lots of deadfall, like I said. And
it was hard terrain for sure. And I think, like you mentioned, I got some tweaking to do on my pack for sure.
It takes a bit of time to figure it out the back, man. Yeah.
And yeah, especially with, you can tweak it all you want at home. And then when you realize you got like 80 whatever pounds in the back, then all of a sudden everything sinks an extra 3 inches or whatever.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but by the time I got my pack off, my shoulders are just on fire.
I could tell that like when we were out of that, first incline there. Yeah. And I looked beside and I saw you there as like, oh wow, that weight is pretty low. So there might be a way, and there must be a way to kind of hook up a meat tray a little higher up on the back there.
I think that's what it was for sure. It did seem to be sitting maybe a little too low.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I didn't feel that bad. Like the next day I was sore. I was definitely sore, but a couple days and I was fine.
Yeah.
So survived my first to tell about it anyways. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't take too long to deal with it. I think it was a couple hours to clean it and pack it and all that kind of stuff.
We were home by 4, I think.
Yeah, 4 or 5, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Wasn't too bad. We were driving out and sun up still, so
sweet.
Saw a whole whack of California bighorns on the way home.
Oh yeah. That was super cool.
Like right up close, right on the road.
Nice.
Oh, I could have unrolled a window and give him a pet on the top of the head.
Yeah. So that was kind of like the icing on the cake on the way out. But and then you got everything back home, and that's a lot of work too. The work doesn't stop when you get it home.
No, I did all my own butchering. I cut up everything myself. Yeah. It's a shit ton of work.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I did it on, what was that, the Monday before I went back to work. And I spent 6 hours and I didn't even do a whole quarter. I left a quarter behind and, I didn't leave it, but it's in my freezer. I just froze it whole. Yeah. So when I let it thaw, I think that whole thing will just be grind. Yeah. And then probably make like burgers or whatever.
Is it a front quarter or
front quarter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
smoker, just hang her up in there.
The
You
whole
think?
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Throw it in the
Fuck yeah.
Traeger
Really?
for like 12 hours, 10 hours.
Low.
The magic number seemed to be 6 in the smoker for
What were
Yeah.
you doing for a temp? Was it a lower, like a
low, or I think it was around 220 or something like
Okay.
that. Yeah, for about 6 hours, I think.
got
and
a
I
Bradley?
brined it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Upper Kelly's place now.
Mhm.
And just kind of hung it up and had it, sitting upright like that, obviously. And man, it was good. And we did that for what the hell was it? Some kind of Easter or Thanksgiving or something like that. It was well received. It was good.
yeah,
But I brined it the night before.
a wet brine or a dry brine?
Well, wet brine, yeah.
Okay.
And actually, I used the Yeti cooler with a bunch of ice to keep it nice and cold, and all these different herbs and spices, and obviously lots
Yeah.
of kosher salt and all that. And fuck, it was good, man.
Mm.
Try
Yeah.
that out
Yeah, for sure.
if you're having
I've,
some people over. And throw that in there. You've got a Traeger
I've got a Traeger
Oh,
and
nice.
a Bradley.
Fuck, you're good to go then.
Man, I've got so many plans for this meat.
That's
I've
great.
got a meat grinder. I've got a dehydrator. Then yeah, Bradley and a Traeger. So
Yeah.
I've got
Balls deep and
lots of plans for it for sure.
so that's great.
Smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We were talking about this on the last episode we did. It's like low and slow for wild game is generally the best way to do it, man. You can't
Yeah.
fuck it up too bad.
Yeah.
really.
Especially with turkey
Yeah.
legs.
Oh man, that turkey looked good.
It was good.
Was it?
And I was nervous. I was like, here I go. I wrecked all these turkey legs.
I
And
was,
then-
oh, nice.
Yeah, we were.
Oh, beauty.
Yeah, that's a nice picture, eh?
Oh, yeah, I like that.
I
Oh,
probably
this
sent
is-
you that.
Your fridge with all the meat in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I let it sit in there as about 4 days, I guess.
Yeah.
And like cool, like it was 30. I think I had it set at 35 degrees Fahrenheit
Yeah.
for 4 days, and everything had like lots of air movement through it.
Perfect.
When I went to butcher it, oh, nice color. Everything looks so good.
Nice.
It's pretty satisfying. Eh?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was.
The dough that I got recently, I cut and butchered all that by myself, but every other one has involved Mike or Bree.
It's a
Bree's
lot
been
of
out-
work.
Yeah,
man.
because Bree's grew up around it, so
Trying to think.
she's probably a better butcher than you are.
yeah, I think so.
Probably.
Yeah, she's like, which quarter you want me to cut? Maybe this hind quarter.
At this
Maybe
point,
this front one.
might have done
It's a lot of work.
two deer solo and a pig. That pig was a fuckload of work. That one.
Yeah. I think my brother-in-law's butchering this weekend. He's got 6 pigs.
6 pigs. Oh man, we did 4, but we only took the one, obviously, and
Yeah.
brought that back to my place. And yeah, it was a lot of work. But
Mm.
it's totally different. Obviously, well, it'd be similar to a bear.
Yeah.
because it's same shit. But to learn all the different cuts, I had this really great YouTube video, luckily.
Yeah.
and he takes you through all the different cuts and that. But
Yeah.
You got a whole pig or half pig?
whole pig.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a
well,
lot
Kelly
of
ended
meat.
up with some of it, and
Yeah.
my brother-in-law, and so we spread it around. But once it was all like we basically cut the thing in half, and I hung it up at my place. It was 200 pounds, and
Wow.
yeah, so it was a lot of meat.
Yeah.
Did the big hams for again? I can't remember if it was Easter or Thanksgiving. It was
Yeah.
separate than the
Did you
the mule deer.
brine it,
brine
and then
that one too.
cure it and
Yeah.
everything?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a long process.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
like a week-long process.
But yeah, I don't know. We had a good 12 people or something like that fed with that thing, and yeah, people loved it. So it's
Yep.
cool.
Mm.
Again, it's just like that whole pride thing, and we
Yep.
saved all the fat from that pig, and that goes to sausages and grind and all
Oh,
that
yeah.
too. So it's kind of cool to incorporate the two different.
That's a good idea
Yeah.
now that you mention that, because I need some fat, I think, for my deer burger. And if my brother's butchering, I'm
Yeah.
going to go get some
Let
pork
me know
fat.
if you need some. I think I still got
Yeah.
some kicking around. You
I
got
got
some
some
too.
too.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't last forever.
No, it doesn't.
And that fat is like the cleanest.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
most delicious fat you've ever had, like the
Just
pork
melts
chops and
in your
stuff.
mouth.
Just like cutting the fat off and
Yeah.
eating it.
It's clear. Like when
Yeah.
it's hot, it just runs clear.
Yeah.
It's-
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's good stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If you need some, let us know.
Okay,
Yeah.
for sure. I've got some ideas. I want to do some burgers, some venison burgers. So yeah,
Nice.
I'll need some pork fat
Yeah.
for sure.
I think having ground meat is probably one of the most useful things to have.
Yeah, it's very versatile.
Yeah, because you can do lasagna, you can do meatballs, you can fucking make burgers or whatever.
Yeah.
Or even incorporate it into sausages later, right? You just huck it in there. So
Yeah.
you can do
Yeah.
a million different things with it.
I tried when I cut everything up for my grind. I didn't grind it, but I cut it into probably like 1.5, 2 pound packs,
Yep.
and then did saran wrap and paper.
Yep.
And I'm just thinking, like, if I'm going to go do sausages, you take 2 or 3 of those out, so you're not doing
Yeah.
10 or 20 pounds,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
can literally just do 3 pounds and make a dozen sausages or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
So
the way to do
I
it.
remember
We
you.
learned the hard way.
I was going to say, when I was
Yeah.
cutting it, I thought of you guys, how you were doing
Yeah.
like your 10 or 20 pound batches
Yeah.
of sausage, and you just said it was too much.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. I think the way to do it is like if you're, planning a dinner that night or the next day to make the sausages that you plan to eat
Yeah.
that day or the day before, and it's just fresh rather than, I don't know, just makes more sense.
Yeah, I remember that day we had all that, I don't know how many pounds, like 30, 40 pounds that we were trying to do. And we thought we were all done. Then I
there
brought
was
all that
another
product
tray.
down into the freezer and I opened it up and there's a whole new tray.
That's
like,
after we had started cleaning everything and
Yeah.
putting it all away.
Yeah.
like a whole new meat lugger full of grind.
Wow.
That it was already ground, but we just needed to then stuff that too. So,
Even that's a lot of work,
Yeah.
man.
and you need a sausage stuffer too, I think.
Yeah.
Like that's one
Like
piece of
the
equipment.
hand crank ones.
Yeah, because like the key, like anything with cooking, I think there's a lot of steps up front that if you miss those simple steps, the end product is not as good. So like one is making sure everything's mixed perfectly, like make sure everything's mixed really well. And then the sausage stuffer, it's just much easier.
Yeah.
Coming straight out of the grinder, you got like heat issues, you've got,
Yep.
tearing and I don't know.
Mhm.
So that's one thing I'm going to get for sure.
One of the biggest things is you take your time
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
whatever you're doing with meat. Take your time. Make sure you're at the right temperatures so you're not developing bacteria and everything. But
Yeah.
take your time, whether you're grinding or you're making burgers or sausages. I mean, I haven't tried sausages yet, but that's on my to-do list.
If it's
So-
not making your fingers go numb, it's not cold enough.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good call. I
Yeah.
actually went and bought metal bowls. So when I just do like a tray of ice and put the metal bowl on it.
Nice.
And then as you're grinding, keep it cool, your grinder attachments, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So, pretty good season. You going to try and get out some more, or is that kind of it?
With a new baby, I think that's it. It's
He-
it's tough to just even get out to hunt. And
Yeah.
then the second you pull a trigger, you've got a day, 2 days worth of work or more, depending
Yeah.
on what you like. I know Kelly and I talked about moose, spike moose here this
but
week or next
we're
week.
already, if it ends on the 15th, so
Yeah. And I mean, if we get a moose, that thing's huge. I don't have the time to butcher one right now.
Yeah.
well, you could. Well, yeah, you're right.
Throw it in my freezer. I'll deal with it when I get back.
Yeah.
I kind of accepted. A spike moose is kind of a unicorn anyway, so I
Yeah.
kind of accepted the fact that if I get out again, it's going to be for whitetail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I went to get my trail cam today, I took my rifle, but I was like, if I find one and it's right there, I will kick myself if I don't have a gun.
Yeah, man.
So-
It's always when you aren't prepared, you don't have the
Yeah.
tag, or you
Yeah.
don't have your rifle.
Yeah. And I know my wife or Amy, she was like, well, what if you shoot one? You have to go to this podcast. I was like, no, I'll call them and
We'll be all right with that.
Yeah.
We're
we'll do
not
a
gonna be upset.
field record.
Yeah.
You guys can bring your backpacks. I'll
Yeah.
quarter up a
That is
moose.
an acceptable excuse for
Yeah,
not
that's what
coming
I
here.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Did you see any whitetails on your trail cam, or is it all muleys?
I don't think there's any whitetail on.
Yeah, I didn't.
where
I don't
I
think
am.
so. It looks like muley country up there.
Yeah. I've seen nothing but muleys.
Yeah.
Each year I've seen good 4 points, and it's always like a couple days, a week after rifle
Yeah.
season. It's
Yeah.
like, fuck. But
Yeah, the seasons are a little more liberal this year. We talked about
Yeah.
so.
Remember, I think it was maybe the first season, and the last day ended up finding a whitetail. This was, I guess, when is the last day for whitetail?
Like
December.
December,
and,
I
yeah,
think.
that's a long season.
Spooked the thing, and it just hopped away. I can still picture it in my head.
Just gone.
It gone. Yeah.
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 Just see the white flag
White tail, and the
gone.
thing just, took off. The image haunts me, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I know what that feels
It'd be
like.
fun to get one in December, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went out with Norris once and we stumble onto some whitetails, and they I find whitetails do more of that, like, they stomp
Yeah.
and they breathe like really heavy. If
Yeah.
there's a threat around, they try to scare it off by stomping. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I find that kind of cool. I think they were doing that more towards my dog, but
Yeah. Well,
Probably.
the first doe or the first deer I ever shot was the white-tailed doe.
Yeah, it
she
was
was
doing that.
stomping her foot, and
Yeah.
not impressed.
To be honest, I don't even think I've seen a whitetail around here.
no.
They're around, yeah, but I don't see a ton of them.
I mean, most of my hunting I've done solo has always been on where I am.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, yeah, I haven't seen many, or I don't think I've seen any, to be honest. But
Yeah.
lots of muley.
Yeah, tons.
Lots of muley.
Yeah, just good.
I'd like
Hey,
to.
That's good news.
Yeah, I dropped off my my goat to do a Euro mount on Sunday, and he had a ton of muley.
Who are you
bucks
going
in
with
Jay something.
on the west side?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Martin
where
or
I was texting him. I think I'm going to take mine up.
cool.
Just get a
Yeah, he's
Euro.
good shit. Yeah, go up
Yeah.
there. What's the name of it?
JMT? or
J-
something?
Yeah, it's like
JMT, I think.
Yeah.
Taxidermy. Yeah.
super nice guy. But yeah, he had a ton of muleys. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. He's like, yeah, it's really nice to see this many mule deer this year. It's a good sign, I guess. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of nice bucks in there. So
I was like, where did they get shot exactly?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like looking at the little tags on the antler.
Which region? You're like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Take
What
a
if I
picture
have a
of
little
that.
look around here? Yeah.
Have you guys heard any update on the mule deer project? Speaking of numbers,
Faces of Wildlife. Check that one out. Mule deer. There you go.
I've listened to that.
Oh, you did?
That was
That's
a couple
the
months.
latest-
That's
yeah,
a few
that's a
months
while
ago,
back.
isn't it? Yeah.
But as far as updates, I haven't heard much. We'll have to get Adam in here at some point to do an update with us.
Yeah, I mean, part of the challenge is it's just allowing time periods that they collect data, I
Yeah.
think. So
Yeah.
we'll have to
Yeah,
get
it's
them
like a
in.
2-year project or something.
Yeah,
like that,
they've
right?
got
So-
a bit of time left in it. So I should probably remember how much time is left, but I think they got another year or two left.
I think it's
in a
for sure
project.
another year
Yeah.
because I still get the emails
Good.
asking, like, can you volunteer?
Yeah, we've been wanting to weasel our way on there. We thought we could muscle our way on there.
Yeah.
No luck because it's like, I guess they're just doing a bit of a lottery. So we'd love to go out and collar some deer and do that. It'd be fun. Or put up trail cams or whatever they need.
I looked, they sent me a map of where the trail cams are, and I was
Oh.
like, interesting.
Nice.
One's not that far from my house. So.
Nice. Yeah. So, that's a good thing you brought that up. We'll have to reach out to Adam Ford, see how things are going, and hopefully they get more funding to continue that project or do something similar to it. Because
Yep.
that's the, we just don't have that kind of data in BC, which is crazy.
No, it's mind blowing that like BC, the size of the province, doesn't have the funding when you compare it to like individual states down the
Yeah. Don't
US,
get
it's-
us started on that one.
yeah.
Frustrating, man.
It is. It really is.
It's ridiculous when, wildlife is our postcard basically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we don't seem to really give a shit about it.
I just don't understand
Yeah.
why we can't at least put our license fees directly
I don't
towards
know.
it. You know,
I had this discussion with a guy at work from a different province, and I was saying, like, I would gladly pay 2-3 times the price
Yeah.
just for my tag if I knew everything was going directly back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Because what's a BC tag? $21, I think, for your general season.
Yeah, it's not that
Deer.
bad.
It's not that bad, but I mean, I'd gladly pay double that if I knew it was going back into it.
Yeah. I think everybody has the same thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, I've been spending quite a bit on tags as it is.
Yeah. I went up north, so I had a bit of everything. So it's been a few $100 every year. But
Yeah.
I think the last 2 or 3 years, I bought almost every tag we could buy.
yeah.
Remember
Like
that?
I had a dozen tags.
Remember the year we got pulled over by the CEO and he's just like going through your tags?
He's like,
All
wow,
of-
you've had a successful season.
Not one punched there.
No, every tag you can buy.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I had fun.
Yeah, that's right.
Tag soup.
Tag
And then
soup.
Same with this year too, because I bought all those tags and then I couldn't go.
Yeah.
So I have all those in my wallet or my pack.
I had to go pick up deer tags, and obviously they need your hunter ID number. So I pulled out my goat tag and gave her that one
Nice.
just to let her know if I got something this year.
Did you keep your shell?
Yeah.
shot?
Yeah.
You should frame it or put the two together or something
Yeah, I
like that.
was
That'd
trying
be
to
cool.
think of how to incorporate in there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Wait till you get your Euro,
Yeah.
do some pictures. That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
I'm pretty excited about it, man. Because with the goat, it's such a nice, cool, especially getting someone else to do it. The skull is going to be a nice, bright white, and then
Yeah.
the black of the horns on that thing. is
Yeah,
gonna be
that'll look
pretty
cool.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if Garrett. I'm sure he's probably going to do one at some point too. But I
Yeah.
haven't heard what he's doing with it. So pretty neat to have all these memories of hunts and.
What are you going to do with your
I might
buck?
take it to the same place.
Oh,
Make it
okay.
a Euro.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well. It's a
I don't
good
think-
memory.
Yeah, I don't think it's that hard to do, but once again, it comes down to time. I don't
Yeah.
have the time to do it. Like you're half a day boiling the thing and
Yeah.
picking everything out.
Brains
So-
all over your backyard.
Oh yeah, my
no.
dog will be trying to eat them.
yeah,
Yeah.
My neighbors moved away.
because of that.
Oh, maybe.
Blasting deer brain across the fence or what?
No, just, they're looking over the fence like, oh, what are you doing over there? Oh, nothing. Got the deer head antler spoken out of a pot just on the camp stove. No. But yeah, I think, once you have that thing, whenever you have something like that, you can put it in your house. You kind of realize, finally that it has nothing to do about what anyone else thinks.
Yeah,
Like it's mostly for you
Yeah.
to reflect on that day.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
It doesn't matter how big it is or, anything. All it matters is it kind of reminds you of that day, and that's what it's there for. And I think people miss that message that aren't
Yeah.
hunters. And I missed it for, my father-in-law hunts, and he's got a bunch of stuff downstairs.
Yeah.
And I've seen that stuff since like grade 12. And, I missed the message for over a dozen years. And
Yeah.
now finally I'm like, I know what that means.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
I want to get it done. I've always said my first buck, I always said I'd do a shoulder mount, but
Yeah.
that's a lot of money. That's a lot of work.
yeah.
but
Yeah.
Euros are cool, man. I love them.
yeah, it'll be cool. It doesn't take up as much room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put it in my garage with all the sheds I've found, and
Nice.
it'll look
Yeah.
cool. I've got that deer skull or the bear skull. My
Oh, cool.
brother-in-law's father did a Euro for me.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've got
Awesome.
that. It's cool. It's
Very
super
cool.
cool. It sits above my beer fridge.
Perfect.
Yeah, every time I get a beer, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
got that one.
I've got my 4-point. Really, my first buck is above my bed, so I look at that thing every single day, man. I love
Your
it.
wife let you put it up
She
there?
did. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know how, but she's like, it was her idea, really.
I know I'll
Yeah.
never be bringing anything into the house.
Yeah.
It's in my man cave. That's
So I'm like, yeah, I'm dropping off the goat on Sunday to do a Euro. She's like, oh yeah, where's that going? I'm like, we'll see.
Man, she'll like it when she sees
I
it.
know. That's what I was trying to explain to her. What it's. I wasn't gonna like pull it out and show her in the state that
Yeah.
it's in.
Hey, have a look at this.
Yeah,
putting this one on the other side of the bed.
yeah. It's yeah. We'll see how that goes. So,
Yeah.
I don't have much in the house. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way. So I can have a couple of things. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
I think I
That's-
could get away with a full blown shoulder mount, but
Yeah.
I think the standard of where I would invest some money on something like that is pretty high.
Right.
Like it would have to be a pretty decent
Big
4-point
ram.
or a ram or a goat or something like
Yeah,
that.
something impressive, something
Yeah.
cool, or a good story behind it, whatever. Yeah.
And even that, like Randy's got this big, I don't even know what it is. It's like a 6-point whitetail or something, just massive.
Just a freak.
And you go down there and it's like, how can the deer even be that big? Like there's
Yeah.
the neck on it and everything is just, it's
Big.
it's honoring the animal, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yep. I agree. I had that 4-point up. Maybe I'll put the goat down here actually if I can't win that battle at home. But it
Yeah.
just opened up so many conversations for people who would come in here like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
And tell them the story.
Yeah.
And when you got enough time to tell the story, people are pretty into it, man.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before a long time ago, but this guy came in and he's a vegan or a vegetarian or something. He was asking about. I told him the whole story about how it all came together and how I had the dog and everything. He's like, man, that is the coolest story I've ever heard. He's like, thanks for sharing that with me because it totally
Yeah.
changed my perspective on
Hmm.
what I think about hunting. I've never had anybody tell me a story like that, so it was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of good stories, a lot of good memories out of hunting.
Mhm.
Or biggest thing I think we're looking forward to, Kelly and I, is when we can take our sons out. Like that's
Yeah.
going to be the stories and the memories from that.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to that too.
Oh yeah, he'll be old Uncle Mike in the
Uncle
background.
Mike, yeah.
Well, and you were talking about even this Euro mount kind of links back to that too, because
Exactly.
like when
Yeah.
Mike looks at that, then it's like, oh, I remember, Kelly was out,
That was on
he
the-
had his first son,
The
and they were
podcast
out.
that did not make it to air.
Which one was that?
The one you didn't record
Oh, I'm blanking.
because you didn't hit record.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
I was
the
talking
last
about.
one.
That. So nobody
Oh,
knows
we
what you're
didn't-
talking about.
Oh, nobody
No.
knows.
No,
Oh,
you
damn.
lost that gem.
Even I don't even
Jeez,
know.
I went deep there. Yeah, I got all emotional. Nobody will ever get to hear it, Kel.
Well,
That's probably a good thing on your behalf.
yeah, yeah. But it's a good point.
No, just that.
It's
Yeah,
like-
there's so many things tied to that mountain. And James is being part of that, and an amazing trip, and yeah, so many things. So
Yeah.
many firsts.
It's like a snapshot in time.
totally, man. Yeah.
And as you get older, that becomes more important.
And at some point, you get to show James and be like, "Hey, man, that
Daddy could have had one,
but you came along, you little bastard."
Or if we go on another trip and I get a Ram shoulder mounted downstairs, then I'd be like, yeah, this was 20 years ago, and you're going to have to work pretty hard to get
Yeah,
one of
there you
those
go.
yourself. So
Yeah,
I'll be in the plane too, but you're going to be back in the next one.
yeah.
That's right. Daddy's at camp drinking beer.
Yeah,
Uh,
that'll be fun.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Any final lessons learned from the deer hunt there? Or?
No, I wouldn't say. Well, I mean, I learned how to field dress my first deer, which honestly, I think my next one, I'll have no issues doing it myself.
Yeah.
No problem.
Man, like we get a lot of questions. People,
Just got to do
how
it.
do you do it, and
Yeah.
wanting to understand each step. But really, we always seem to, once you get out there and you start cutting, you'll figure it out.
Well, like you said, Kyle, once you pull the hide off, if you're doing the gutless method, it's like
You see
there's
every
that,
muscle
there's that,
group.
there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And now, since I've done my deer that way, gutless, and then I did my bear, I gutted them in
Yeah.
the field and then carried them
Done
out.
both,
and
yeah.
I've done both. I would say by far, gutless method. That's the way to go.
It's clean, man. It's
It's
easy,
clean
yeah.
and-
and it's not like you're losing meat. It's the same thing because
No.
you can still do the gutless, get everything off, keep it clean, and then go in and get organs and stuff like that afterwards, right? And not
Yep.
worry about getting shit on your meat. So
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
yeah, literally, yeah, shit, piss, and guts, and
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, for first deer, that was an amazing experience. And I'm glad you were there to help me and we got to get that together. Like that was
Yeah.
it was a cool day. It was an awesome day. I'll always remember for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was saying too, is like, it was almost more fun not being the guy pulling the
Yeah,
trigger in
yeah,
that
Yeah.
case.
You've
Yeah.
said that a few times.
It's just,
I'm glad you got to suffer a bit with me packing out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all good. It's fun to be a part of it.
Yeah. When I get some things made up, I'll hook you up for sure. Or have you over some
Yeah.
steaks or some burgers or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do another guys burger night. Do some venison burgers.
Traeger.
Traeger venison burgers.
we've got a
Cool.
nice variety of. We can do some goat, we can do some bear, we can do some mule
Yeah.
deer.
Yeah.
So we need
Turkey.
a whitetail turkey. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like a good night.
I brought some halibut and
Yeah,
lane cod
that's
too.
Meat and beer.
yeah. Scurvy night.
It's funny because, we hit, I don't know what year it was, maybe our second or third year, where we had a ton of meat in the freezer, but it
Yeah.
was kind of, I feel like right now we have a large variety
Totally. Yeah.
of meat, more so than we
Mhm.
ever have. So
Yeah.
that's
between
pretty
if
cool. It's almost too hard to put it all into one meal, but it would be nice if we could do like,
Everyone do a
you know,
dish.
yeah,
Yeah,
mountain
thing.
goat kind of as an appy, and then maybe deer as more of a
Yeah.
main, and even throw some sea in there like fish.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm sure we can figure something out.
Oh, I'm sure we can.
I don't think we've had a failed meal yet. So
No.
the turkey I thought was getting there, but then it broke through, and
I was holding out hope for that turkey. Came through.
yeah,
Sweet. Well, congrats, man. I was super pumped when I saw those photos. Like,
Thanks, man.
fuck yeah,
It was awesome. It really was.
good. Well, we'll have to get out next year. So we'll have to plan our
Oh,
next
that's the thing, or-
adventure. Yeah.
Season's coming to an end, really. I don't know if you guys have much more for plans.
No, I'm gone this next week here, and then I'm gone.
That's it.
Yeah.
then
So I had
Christmas.
one trip. or one day out by myself, and that was it. So,
Yeah.
but I'm not complaining though, because the trip up north was great. So,
Yeah.
can't complain.
Yeah.
And everybody else has done well here too. So it's been a good season. Yeah,
We'll have to look at something maybe for next year or the
Yeah.
year after.
LAH. Yeah.
I would love to do another moose hunt or an elk. I would love to get an elk.
Yeah. I would like to prioritize that next year too.
Mhm.
All right, let's do it.
We'll start sucking up to our wives now.
Yeah. You just gotta like throw it out there, like,
Yeah.
we were talking about maybe doing a hunt next year.
It's all about preparation.
Yeah.
Start
Just-
planning
just
now,
a
and it's
couple
not a
days.
surprise.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. Congrats, man.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
This episode of Rookie Hunter was brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, Sitka Gear, and North Arm Knives. As always, it is hosted by Kelly Mullner and myself, Mike Peterson. It is recorded, edited, and produced at Mountain Stream Audio Productions in beautiful Kelowna, British Columbia. Original music written by the one and only Kelly Mullner with help from Graham Ord, Darcy Booth, and Chip Sleedermean. If you want to help us out, there's one thing you can do. You can go to iTunes or wherever you get your podcast from and leave us a 5-star rating and a review. And don't forget to subscribe. For more on the show, head over to our website, theRookieHunter.com.